Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in Freshman English. And I'm now with you on page 670, 671. We're going to look at Stephanie Watson's How Podcasting Works. Now, we are reading for information. We are analyzing functional and expository texts. The first one that we're going to look at, the How Podcasting Works, is what we will call technical directions. And here, we want to pay attention on page 670. So take a few notes quickly. On page 670, we're going to follow technical directions, okay? And we're going to analyze the structure and the format. Now, you got a checklist here, and that's in a box on page 670 that you want to pay attention to. I'm going to ask you to scan those, but I want you to look at the very last one, and I want you to laugh with me at the number of times that you haven't done it. When you were putting together information and you skipped steps, right? Because you were certain that you didn't need that. Dude, I already know how to do that. And then, of course, when you got it put together, there was 3 or 4 screws left and something didn't work. And then you're like, no. And then you got to go back again. Let's take a look. I think you'll find this a fascinating little essay as well. How Podcasting Works by Stephanie Watson. By the way, notice that you've got some technical directions features, some technical language, giving some background about our topic, step-by-step instructions, and the text is written for a general audience. So we want to pay attention now to the sidebar information, right? Notice you've got a heading that clearly states that this section will provide an introduction to the subject of podcasting. Now, you maybe will learn a few things here, and quite frankly, some of the information here may already be outdated from when this information was published. More importantly, we're trying to help you learn how to read a text that is for information's sake, okay? By the way, can I say this out loud? Probably in the history of your life, you'll do more reading like this than any other kind of history, any other kind of reading, unless you are a voracious reader of fiction some point in your life later when you pick up novels and the like. Introduction to How Podcasting Works. Have you ever dreamed of having your own radio show? Are you a recording artist hoping to have your songs heard by the masses? Decades ago, you would have had to have had a lot of connections or a fortune to get heard. But now, thanks to the internet and its instantaneous connection to millions of people, your dreams can become reality. Just as blogging has enabled almost everyone with a computer to become a bona fide reporter, a new technology called podcasting is allowing virtually anyone with a computer to become a radio disc jockey, talk show host, or recording artist. If you post it, they will come. Although podcasting is still primarily used by the techie set, it's beginning to catch on with the general public. Log on to one of the several podcast sites on the web and you can download content ranging from music to philosophy. Podcasting combines the freedom of blogging with the technology of MP3 to create an almost endless supply of content. Some say this new technology is democratizing the once corporate-run world of radio. Of course, if you know anything about what's going on, this word democratizing means everybody gets a little bit more share in what you can create and what you can hear. In this article, you'll learn about how podcasting works, find out what tools you need to record and receive podcasts, and hear what industry analysts have to say about the future of this burgeoning technology. Podcasting is a free service. By the way, let's just pause for a second and point out that what we've just been reading is the introductory materials. In other words, notice Stephanie Watson is going to tell you why you should be interested in podcasting. Now we're going to get into the specifics of podcasting, right? Podcasting is a free service that allows internet users to pull audio files, typically MP3s, from a podcasting website to listen to on their computer or personal digital audio player. The name comes from a combination of the words iPod and broadcasting. Even though the name is derived from the iPod, you don't need an iPod to listen to a podcast. You can use virtually any MP3 player or your computer. Unlike with internet radio, users don't have to tune in to a particular broadcast. Instead, they subscribe to a podcast and the audio files are automatically downloaded to their computer via RSS feed as often as they request. The technology is similar to that used by TiVo, a personal video recorder that lets users set which programs they'd like to record and then automatically records those programs for later viewing. I'm on the page 672. Notice your next heading, Podcasting History. Podcasting was developed in 2004 by former MTV video jockey Adam Curry and software developer Dave Weiner. Curry wrote a program called iPodder that enabled him to automatically download internet radio broadcasts to his iPod. Several developers improved upon this idea, and podcasting was officially born. Right now, podcasting is free from government regulation. Podcasters don't need to buy a license to broadcast their programming as radio stations do, and they don't need to conform to the Federal Communication Commission's FCC broadcast decency regulations. Although several corporations and big broadcast companies have ventured into the medium, many podcasters are amateurs broadcasting from home studios. Because podcasters don't rely on ratings as radio broadcasters do, the subject matter of podcasts can range from the refined to the silly to the excruciatingly mundane. Several companies are trying to turn podcasting into a profitable business. Podcasting aggregators are including advertising on their sites. The Podcast Network, based in Australia, runs commercials and sponsorships during its audio broadcasts. Television networks have gotten into the action. National Public Radio, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and BBC have begun podcasting some of their shows. Corporations have created their own podcasts to attract customers and consumers. Some experts say podcasting is still a long way to go before it catches on with the masses, but others believe it will eventually become as popular as text blogging, which grew from a few thousand blogs in the late 90s to more than 7 million today. Some podcasts are already providing thousands of downloads a day. Then you have the instructional information, creating and listening to podcasts. Notice you have the information to record a podcast and then how to listen to a podcast with your numbering observations there as well. This will help you, I think, to be able to maybe in the future know how to break down content as you look at an informative text. Thank you.